Hey everybody, welcome to BrickVault. Today is another LEGO Top 10 Mocks of the Week episode, where I talk about the coolest LEGO creations I happen to see people building in LEGO bricks throughout this last week. Like always, links to everybody I'm talking about and a whole lot more are in the description below, including a link to our web store, www.brickvault.toys, where we sell instructions for amazing LEGO custom builds. This week, Built Bricks has added 4 new sabers to the roster, that being Luke Skywalker's, Obi-Wan Kenobi's, Anakin's saber hilt, and Darth Vader's. There's a video talking about their specific details. Everything, once again, linked in the description below. Let's jump into some honorable mentions from this last week. Nanan Zhang has a great little speeder scene called Crystal Run. From Henjin Quilonis, the title is Getting Ready for the Masterpiece. Everything here is built in LEGO bricks. Then the builder Duncan Lindbow built an hourglass. The ring in the center is a nice touch. Also, we're seeing a lot more minifigure torso pieces being used this week. This title is Someone Dropped Off a Package by Daniel Brickson. I swear I just watched Kiki's delivery service for the first time this last weekend, so weird timing, great little build. From Gallery de Antha, the title is Observation Lime and Gray, and strangely enough, I also just finished Junji Ito's comic book of The Spiral, and this build definitely reminds me of that. Mansour Soliman built Fangar Plaza. Love this little micro build, tons of amazing details, and Aaron Newman has been making some amazing animal creations. This is Project Anomalia Series 1, and I hope to see several series more. The giraffe is my personal favorite out of these 3. And then we're jumping onto a build from Lennart Cort. The title is Surrender, and it's a pretty good looking scene, but specifically, I love the build for this Jeep. Cohen Zwanenberg has Cuddly Toys. This is his full animal collection. It's a great consistent build and art style for all of these funny little critters. And then from Vince Talos, we have Ambassador of Grinks. Don't know if I'm saying that right. This is an alien civilization or group after all, and there are just some awesome design choices included. I particularly like the face and the staff. Ralf P has titled this one The Old Man and the Flower. Lots of great banana piece uses, a really nice little art style here. And another great little build from Ralf P is a Candle of Light. The title is Hordeka, and the builder is Tino Putienet. With not so many pieces, we have an incredibly dynamic looking figure, also pretty intimidating and creepy looking. And now let's jump into top 10. In no particular order from best to worst, the first one up is from Bart de Dobbelaer, and the title is La Vie en Rose. In the description, this is a sentient life probe with some amazing greebling details. This very much reminds me of something like a Borg cube with some extremely notable differences. There's a lot of creative pieces used for the greebles around the outside of the cube. Love the yellow color highlights, especially the circular toothed gear piece around the opening of light. And then the scene is kind of interesting with these strange jelly-like creatures on the floor, and there's also a few critters crawling around the cube. And then we have a very clean little flyer here from Mitsuru Nikaido. This is the LEGO VTOL transport aircraft, and it's just got that classic military futuristic look. Technically, something like this or something similar looking to this does exist in real life, being the Osprey, but this vehicle here is notably a bit more sleek and just a bit more punchy with its exaggerated features. It's a great use of that new cube piece for the missile pods under the wings, and there's tons of great angles for this ship if you check out the links in the description below. I've only shown a few of them here. Now this is a model I've definitely been wanting to show off for a long time. From Aido K, this is the YT-2400, the same kind of ship design used by Dash Rendar for his Outrider. This model existed in digital from this guy a long time ago, and after several years, a physical version of the model has been put together, and it looks really nice. The whole thing comes on a stand that is canted to the side, which is great, so you can get a lot of details from the underbelly, and this thing has been built with lights. Really cool to see a model like this finally get knocked out from a designer from years ago when the original digital file was shown on his Flickr. And now we're jumping over to a model from Lennart Cort. This is the AH-64 Apache, model number 7, if you're keeping count. It's easily one of the most recognizable attack helicopters in history, with an extremely distinct nose and cockpit, and that massive radar dome above the main propeller. The proportions and angles really do look spot on for this model, and it's certainly one of my favorite looking original military builds for this year so far. Eero Okkonen has built yet another interesting, colorful figure in that quite distinct build style of his. The title is Tam the Enchanter of Gales. The color gradation of the wing pieces used for the hair in the back, or at least that's what I think it is hair in the back, has a great way of contrasting with the dress beneath, with the different types of purple and then the dark blue strips on either side. This builder has an excellent eye for color and shape, and I highly recommend you check out some of his other brick build figures if you have not seen them already. Number 5 is a fun one. Cube Brick has built Return to Forbidden Island. It's a full scene here with an ocean, a beach, a bit of jungle, a cliff, and of course a very intimidating mouth of a cave. I like that there's 3 different build styles for different palm trees, which is fun. The actual mouth of the cave is probably the best bit of detailing and certainly the centerpiece for this diorama, and I'll be curious to see if this build modifies at all when the island sets for the new Ninjago line come out. Number 4 is from the builder Henjin Quilonis, and the title is Harvester 2. It's interesting, we only get 2 low shots, and I think that helps really keep the atmosphere well contained for a scene like this, but we really are looking at a very special looking spaceship. These 2 giant windscreens colliding together create an illusion of an absolutely massive glass cockpit, and then when you combine those angles in the front with some nice arch pieces under the wings and a snubbed out rear end, it makes the ship feel very real and utilitarian. The scene also built around this ship feels very Star Wars like, even a bit of the model feels like it could be Star Wars inspired somewhat. And we're jumping over to Zane Houston. This is titled The Hunter, and it is such a clean looking mechanical build, very different in fact from some of the other ones we've been looking at so far. The angles are very precise and cutting. It's also quite stylized with these large sort of hook pieces coming up from the shins. You also get a similar hook detail for the elbow in the back by the forearm. Very well placed color highlights throughout the entire body, and an extremely mean and aggressive looking face or cockpit there for the larger robot. The stance is dynamic and full of energy, and the builder really takes advantage of sloped angles. Not too many curve pieces here, only a couple in places where it really counts. Lego robots will never stop being built, and it seems the designers have just been getting better and better at knocking out different types of connections that allow for really wonderful and lifelike poses like this. Number 3 is a really fun large build. It's only this section. I don't have an actual picture of the full rock tortoise. The designer is Ralf Langer, and though the description doesn't say it, this does feel somewhat inspired by the Never-Ending Story. The details for the tortoise's head and leg really are quite astounding. It's a combination of little modular sub-assemblies that have all been cut together by the lower part of the leg, and then the rough and wrinkly skin of the tortoise is captured well with the different angled 1x1 cheese wedge pieces. You can also see tons of plate detailing along the neck, some great curved internal shapes that allow for a little bit of the arching on the top of the head, and just a hint of some hexagonal shapes that make up the area around the shell. It's a pretty excellent model. The dark, big, shiny eye feels very real in a build like this. And now we're jumping over to a very unique model. I remember seeing a Dilophosaurus skull back in October of 2019, and then wanting to see a full dinosaur body built in the same Technic style, and that is exactly what Damian Thomas has done. This is a 1-to-1 scale Velociraptor. It's been built with a series of Technic structural areas to keep this whole thing up and also dynamically posed. And that's kind of the exact thing that you would see in a natural history museum, which is really fun. The angles for the bones feel almost medical in terms of their accuracy. Everything feels so incredibly real. And when you have these images of Lego bricks pulled from far away, there's very little to discern this from an actual serious skeletal bone structure and just a combination of fun Lego bricks, a lot of which are Technic. This is a design I would absolutely love to see in person, and there you have it for my top 10 models of the week. Like always, there's tons of links in the description below if you want to learn more about these designers. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. If you enjoy our content, you can always like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever it is that you want to do, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.